So I want to ask Jill to come up and talk about this notion and this power of bringing industry volunteers together with educators to truly transform the system in a bigger way. So thank you.
Hello, my name is Jill Hubbard, and I'm a teacher at Tualatin High School. I teach engineering and computer science classes. I was an engineer before that, and my first job was at a company called Evans & Sutherland in Salt Lake City, Utah. So I am so excited. And it was one of those experiences that showed me how to take what I was learning in school and apply it to something way beyond anything I could ever think of, creating flight simulators. It ties into this work because it's how do you take what you learn and apply it to something that's bigger and better that you can do on your own, that is really transformational in terms of the world. So a lot of the products that we made there were used by not only companies, but also aviation industries, by the federal government. It was really cool stuff, so check that out. Oregon Connections. As part of the STEM Hub, I work for the South Metro Salem STEM Hub. Well, first I can tell PGE. And what it is one of the things we were looking for was how do we enable these entities to talk to each other in ways that are meaningful. There's a difference in perspective. When you're an educator, you look at education a certain way. When you're an interesting person, you look at education a different way. So how do we set up the structures, statewide structures that are systematic, that enable people to make connections with each other, and that are scalable throughout the state? As Mark said, we have an equity issue. We have pockets of people today that are doing this really well. And then we have people that don't have access to community and industry partners. How do we make those assets available throughout our state? That's what Oregon Connections is doing. We've piloted it last year. Here are some examples. I wanted to show you some real stuff that's happening now. So this is a virtual real-time session. So as an educator, I teach game design. I'm teaching game design for SuperQuest right now. I want my students to interact with game designers because I want them to get a sense of careers. What are opportunities beyond the classroom? I want them to see different types of people that are in those careers. The virtual sessions, I as an educator can say, I'm looking for a chance for students to get a glimpse into what goes into creating a production level video game. And then there's a national database of video game designers that can respond to that, and I can connect to them virtually, real time in my classroom. So my students are talking to this person, and it's all getting recorded and saved, so there's a good return on investment from our industry partners for their time. What also is super interesting about this is multiple classrooms can participate at once. So it's not just my class that's in there. I can be communicating with the class in California, with the class in New York, with the class in Carolina, and we start to develop a community. In addition, there's an in-person component because a lot of industry people and educators are asking for in-person connections. They want to see somebody in front of them that they can communicate with, that their students can develop relationships with. So this is an example of Amity High School. And they wanted their students to do a field trip because he was doing a lesson on force and motion. So he connected with one of our community partners, World of Speed, and he took his class to World of Speed where they got to see a lot of application to a lot of physics principles. A good example of, again, how to connect with community partners, and this might not have happened without this tool because perhaps, as educators, we don't know about all the community resources that are available. This last part I wanted to show because this is an example of where this could go. It could get even bigger. What's starting to happen is our industry partners are saying, I want to offer a session in something. I'm an expert in something. I want to virtually offer a session at a certain time at a certain date. And I want to put it out there across the nation and see who wants to be part of this. As a teacher, I can look up here and go, what's going on right now? The importance of attitude in being successful. That might sound like a minimal thing, not applicable to STEM at all, but everybody out there were like, yeah, the importance of attitude in being successful. How impactful would that be for a young person to hear about? There's also computer innovation, lots of things, but now kids are starting to get access to experts that they would not normally have an opportunity to see or hear from. And there's diversity. We don't see it necessarily because we tend to tap into the same people. But once we open up and look behind the screen, there's a lot of diversity out there, a lot of passionate people. This is the last slide. I'm sorry, I'm not too long. OCSTA has been a magnificent partner in this because as part of their grants, they are funding teachers, CTE teachers who want to do this already to get access to the virtual part of the school. So we're going to be training teachers through OCS today. We are looking for mutual partners. My ears were open. There was when there was talk in the back, hey, if that's an industry that want to participate, we need you. We want you to participate. So please talk to me, and we will figure out ways to make that happen. It's not a long, big ask. It actually can be a very short ask. We just want to get the word out and get a lot of different people to be part of this system for the benefit of the students throughout the state. Thank you very much.